We want to welcome everyone to the Making Connections interview show virtual edition. We are doing a special edition today, and we are going out via Facebook Live through the Hispanics and Friends linked group in Facebook, and also my personal timeline for David Triana. Making Connections is an interview show that brings in very interesting people from throughout the nation, throughout the world, if we can, and wherever we can invite people that make a difference in this world, we would have him here. We have some special guests today. And Making Connections is produced by Conexion Media Group, which also publishes the largest trilingual monthly newspaper or publication in the Tallahassee to Mobile, Alabama, and points in between area.
The world unites in the Emerald Coast. Don't miss the third annual International Festival, Fort Walton Beach. Saturday, March 20th, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Landing Park in Fort Walton Beach. Live music, DJs in more than 60 nations represented in food, folklore, and vendors. Net proceeds from the festival will benefit the Saving Grace Women's Home, Florida. International Festival Fort Walton Beach is a family-friendly event and is free and open to the public. For details, call 850-368-3505 or email connexionflorida@gmail.com.
This afternoon, we have a wonderful guest. Her name is Sue Tyrrell, and Sue is the Chief Executive Officer of Hands Up Communications, a company based out of Cedar Rapids in Iowa, cold Iowa. And Susan is joining us while she visits Florida, sunny Florida, which I'm sure she is enjoying. And she is going to tell us what Hands Up Communications is all about. Sue, welcome to Making Connections, and please start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, Sue Tyrrell.
Sure. My story is very long and deep, so I'll summarize very quickly. I just fell in love with the deaf and hard of hearing and deaf blind communities. And from that, kind of in progression, I became a sign language interpreter, which eventually became a group of us working together that we called an agency. And a few years later, we began to expanding to other linguistic groups, beginning with the Swahili Friendly, Kinyarwanda, Kinyamurenge group, and then expanded off to Spanish and about now 200 different languages.
200 different languages is what
Yes.
Hands Up Communication can provide services
Yes,
with. And again, you are based out of Cedar Rapids and moving into our area here at the Emerald Coast. Tell us what type of services does Hands Up Communication
Sure.
provide for this area that you're coming into and where you are at?
So our eventual goal is to have a brick and mortar and be able to provide both on-site, over the phone, video remote, translation, document translation, and transcription in both English and Spanish. Currently, as we build that pool of interpreters, we're offering the video remote interpreting services immediately and beginning to build a group of interpreters that can work locally on site. We hope to have that quicker than, we hope to have that brick and mortar building by the end of the year.
Outstanding, outstanding. So that is going to be a wonderful addition to the Emerald Coast. I don't think I've been here about 15 years, and to be honest with you, I have not heard of a similar company. And I think the area is a multicultural area for sure, and there's people from all different backgrounds and all different parts of the world, and you're going to be able to serve them through these services that allow them to communicate in their language if necessary, right?
Yes, that's our goal. In Cedar Rapids, it has become a beautiful group of people from Africa, from Senegal, from China, from Korea. Our group is about 30 strong with different languages for on-site services in Cedar Rapids. And as we build our services here, we hope to connect with the communities and find out where the needs are and how we can be supportive.
I understand that. And obviously the company being based in Cedar Rapids, that's where you are, that's where your main staff is, but you are going to have physical presence, in other words, human beings that are going to be working for your company here in the region. Is that correct?
We do. We have two of the most amazing folks. Alberto is a Spanish interpreter, but mainly his job is to be a director of operations for our company here in the Navarre, Fort Walton Beach to Pensacola, kind of the whole Panhandle area. And then our CFO actually works down in Sarasota. So eventually we'll work his way. But for now, we're looking at the Panhandle area and looking to expand all of our services here, immediately being able to offer the over the phone and video remote interpreting. Within the next few months, we're hoping to have a team of interpreters we can offer on-site interpreting for.
I understand. So you want to have interpreters and translators here that are also within the area, but this product actually provides you the capability to really offer those services from anywhere in the world. Is that correct?
That's right. Some of our interpreters work in Cabo San Lucas or across the U.S. Some of them are in the Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, and our services then can be provided the same way across the U.S., across the world.
Well, most definitely the Spanish language is going to be one that you're going to need here in the area. But what other languages? Give me about 2 or 3 of the languages that you think, that you need. Maybe you need translators for interpreters for number one. Those kind of unique languages that maybe you do not have interpreters or translators for at this point.
Currently, we are looking for a Marshallese interpreter for sure. Marshallese, Hmong, the Burmese languages, Hakachin, Karen. We're always looking for a few more of those folks who can speak Swahili, Kirundi, Kinyarwanda, Kinyarwanda, Lingala. There was a couple others, I believe. Bosnian is another language we're looking to begin. And we already have a need for those languages I just talked about. And of course, I'm sure we're going to need a lot of Russian in this area as well as in the Cedar Rapids area. Bosnian is another one that's immediate need.
So you're going to need personnel that help you provide those services, obviously, within the area, and people can actually be part of your company in the translation or interpretation part of it. Wherever they may be, right? They can. Yes. They don't have to be here in Florida or Iowa. They can be anywhere in the world.
We actually have an application. It's web-based or app-based, and we can set any company up with the languages that they're choosing through a quick application. Once you sign in, that application's open until you choose to close it. You decide what languages you want on the quick dials. You click that language, and it connects you virtually on video to an interpreter or over the phone.
I have seen a presentation that you did, and it's an amazing product. It's very fast, and it was amazing how fast the interpreter came on, and then we started talking in Spanish in this case. Has the pandemic had an effect on your company and the things that you provide?
It did immediately. In March, we dropped about 85% of our revenue. But once people became very comfortable, folks in our area originally, the on-site was really strong. The VRI was probably 50% of our business, but we saw an immediate drop in the on-site interpreting. Once we got those folks switched over to our application or to a form of digital media or virtual media that they felt comfortable with, we were able then to connect them to an interpreter, whether it was through our application, through Zoom, or through Team Meets, Google.
Understand. Hands Up Communications. Why the name?
Why the name? Hands Up began as a sign language interpreting organization. And in sign language, when you say, all right, hands up, you're ready to work. But we also base our company on love and faith. And that came from a biblical context of lifting up of holy hands without doubt and without wrath, which in essence is with love and faith. So we believe and we have faith in our team. We have faith in people's journeys in life. I personally have a faith in God, but we also have a love for people. And that's where it really makes a difference. I think we stand out in the fact that our love for people is what draws people into our organization. And it's also what connects us with the communities we serve.
I understand that. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Tell me at least a few of the are the different companies or organizations that your services will benefit in, from experience, obviously in Iowa and here? I can think of a few of them myself, but which ones?
Mhm.
Give me about 3 or 5 of them that you think will be using your services or need your services, which is more important.
Got it. We see a strong need in the education system, especially for the sign language. That's done on site most of the time, but even virtually, we can provide a sub to a school virtually so they don't have to search out somebody to come on site. Now, we're finding that more and more we're able to sub interpret for other languages, and mainly French, Spanish is probably the top two we're seeing for on-site. We also provide a ton of medical interpreting. All our folks need to run through a 40-hour medical training or some kind of medical qualifying training to be able to work for us. We offer that training, so that makes that easy. So we work with employers as well as medical entities, educational entities, religious entities, pretty much anywhere that people need to communicate and feel that sense of belonging with that quick hello in a language they understand. There's a connection between two people, and we can make that happen.
Yeah, and I can think obviously like the courtroom or the courthouse, the the
Absolutely.
police, the sheriff, because the
Yeah,
language barrier can be a very dangerous situation
it can.
when when somebody is being stopped and they cannot not understand directions from the police or from the sheriff because of the language barrier, and that can become a very, very dangerous situation, obviously, right there and then. The other one that and you mentioned it, special needs community. I have I have a son with autism. He's 18 years old, and I know that kids with autism, you can't tell that they have autism, but then they're out there on the street or whatever. They may have gotten out of the house, and they cannot communicate with that person that's trying to help them, or the police that's trying to find them, and they
Yeah.
may be thinking that he's being a rebel or something because he's not responding, and that kid cannot respond because he has autism, obviously. So many of them learn the sign languages.
We do see a need for not just providing the service, but educating our community, making sure that our police and emergency services understand that when they come into contact with somebody who speaks another language, who has autism or a special disability, who is from another country, who may not have, those folks need training to understand what they're coming in contact, who they're coming in contact with, and how they can best provide a better understanding or a better connection with those folks so that everything's a lot easier on both sides.
Now, also in talking to you for a couple of times, you mentioned several things, that you are community minded. Socially conscious corporations are very important right now. Millennials love that. The young people love to work for companies like that. To be honest with you, that's really one of the findings of data, that the millennials and the younger folk love working for companies that are socially conscious, that do stuff for the community, that support the community. So is that something that Hands Up Communications intends to do in our region, be part of the community by supporting nonprofits or people that that are needy, cannot necessarily afford you, things like that?
Absolutely. I actually had a contact from a man on the East Coast today, and he said, "Hey, Sue, I haven't talked to you in a while. Somebody we used to interpret for, he needs help interpreting a personal item." And he said, "If I need to, I'll pay for it. No problem. You supported us when we were out there. We absolutely will support you." We work with we support the Nepali Women's Festival. We support the any of the festivals in the other communities that are going on. I know there's one in March on the 24th. We're looking forward to being a part of that one. We don't want to just provide a service. We want to provide that service for equal access to communication, because we believe that people's thoughts and intentions and emotions are important. And if you don't get your whole of your team's ideas, you're missing it's a huge loss to a company if they don't get all of those ideas. But in the same vein, we want to support the communities in any way that they need. So we want to know what the communities are needing, what interpreters want, what interpreters need. How do they want to work with an agency like ours? We're not an agency out for our own route, for very much collaborating with organizations We're all about it. We see no competitors. We see everybody as an opportunity. Everything is a win-win, unless somebody chooses not to make it a win-win. That's on them.
So
But
unity is important to you. Then.
Huge, yes. And
wonderful.
I have a great team in my office. So if I didn't support some of these communities, these folks would have my hide, because they're in my office, and we're family. So
that is wonderful. That is wonderful. Sue, we're gonna close it out by you telling us, number one, give us your website, nice and slow, and then also your telephone number, and then we'll announce the event that is coming up on 1 March.
That's super. Okay, so our website is www.hands up communications with an s.com.
All spelled out. Okay, got it.
Spelled out.
handsupcommunications.com is the website. And contact number for you all?
We have 2 contact numbers, and one of them is our Cedar Rapids office phone number, which is 319-213-9920. And our second number, sorry, I actually have to look that one up.
It's okay.
It's an 850-203-4920 number.
That's your local Florida number.
Yes.
Sue, thank you very much for coming. I'm glad you are enjoying Florida as compared to Iowa during this time of the year. Yeah. It's a great company that you bring in here, and we are at your service to help you get the word out on the services that you can provide. Thank you very much for being with us and making connections.
I appreciate the invite. Thank you so much. And I look forward to hearing the rest of your program.
This is a special edition of Making Connections produced by Conexion Media Group. Thank you for being with us.